Liam. Finally, I can display a decent score. 2,472. Finally, I've had a half decent week. The good news, I'm back inside the top 10,000. Moving up 2,000 spots. It's pretty rare at this time of the year. We actually move up more than your actual round rank. I think that's a rare sight. It's a good thing to take in. Both two league wins, very handy. Not really. They've been bottom 8 finals because the year's been a bit dismal. It was 24-72, but it was actually could have scored a little bit more. Our rookies were very handy cover this week for a couple of primos that were out, but yeah, didn't get the captaincy right this week. I technically did, but just took too much of a risk. With Clayton Oliver, unfortunately only a 93, cost me 24 from Mitchell, got a bit greedy. Could have VC'd McRae, which would have been even nicer, but I can't complain with the 24.72. Gets me in that top 10,000, which it just looks so much better on paper. It's not the top thousands where I'm wanting, but still better than nothing. My defence is pretty impressive this week. They had 105. Just keeps moving on. Short 126 with Hooley out. He's certainly something to look out for. He'll probably be nearly popularly owned next year if Hooley doesn't come back. Whitfield 81 is probably the disappointment of the defence. Didn't start my week off very well, but oh well, at least he's playing. That's the main thing. Ridley 108. In the end, it's like the Ridley v Mills is starting to slowly turn into Ridley favour after Mills being out for the last few weeks, costing sides. So I'm making up some ground from that bad decision early on the season. Salem, impressive 108. Was everywhere in that game. Finally repaid some of his poor scores. Funny thing, I thought Heimel was actually playing and realised he wasn't, but I was lucky to get Derham's 93. That's just luck. Anytime you get a rookie scoring 90 to cover a bench player, that certainly put me up probably 40 points on other people who are probably getting Bianco's 40. Or even a donut at this time of the year with how many with Mills, Stewart, and Lloyd all out. And the same. It's a bit hard for teams, especially with no trades. Onto the midfield, McRae, as I said, very impressive, 136. Probably the best pick of the year. He hasn't left my side all year, along with Laird. Amazing. He just keeps on moving on. Unfortunately, didn't VC him. The only mistake I made with him. But he's an absolute gun. He's been in my. I think he's been in my side the last 3 years. I don't think he's left it. And he probably jinx it now, but he plays pretty much every game of the year. Not that 1 year that he did his hammy and Adelaide Oval was my captain. That was not fun. But he's pretty injury, not opposite the injury prone is. So yeah, great starting pick. Mitchell has been a good pick after the bye. He was, I think, my last traded in player, but he's been outstanding pick. Not looking back on that, Oliver. Just wanted the 200. I missed out his VC because of subs, medical subs. I just cannot get anything right with him. But he was a decent pickup. Been a little bit disappointing the last couple of weeks, not being able to match the other guys around him. But all in all, he's been a pretty solid pick all year. Merritt, same thing. He's probably 5 points under what I wanted him for the year. 107 is not bad. It's just when looking at McRae 129, what Steele has done in the last couple of months. you just wish you had him instead of Merritt, but he's nothing to be ashamed about. Bontempelli finally back-to-back decent games for a while, 114. Not reach his lofty heights in the mid of the season, but still doing his job. And then there's Timmy Taranto. Oh my God! When I saw him at full forward at the start of the game, I was like, "Here comes the 60." I was nearly tempted to loop him, which I probably would have done it if I had the ability to loop mid-game. But not after the first quarter. Far out, 3 goals, 4 goals by half time. I was licking my lips. That was just fluke. 97 is probably not what I wanted him to average for the year. I don't see him scoring more than 60 next week. I think this is one of the first weeks he's got a better SuperCoach score than fantasy, which is it's unreal. You just have to laugh. Crouch, oh my God, don't talk about him. I know he's got to 92, but 100k more and I would have had still. It's just hard to look back on. Newcomb, another rookie scoring 90, covering my ass. You just take them and run against. Probably netted me 40 points on most people around me, who were probably either suffering donuts or a Bianco. So Newcomb played a brilliant midfield role. Tempted to loop him with Crouch, depending on fixtures, or Taranto as well. For the last round, Rux, no one's really set the world on fire. I know he had a pretty decent game this week. Gorn 100, Grundy 89. It'll be interesting next year because they'll actually look a little undervalued, but I feel like it'll be interesting what the starting Rux picks for next year will be. Someone who's pretty much guaranteed in my side, Aaron Hall, he just keeps getting it done. One of the best mid-price picks of the season. He's just an absolute gun. He'll certainly have defender status next year. Nothing to do with the forward line, but he has been most consistent forward for the last couple, probably 15 rounds after his slow start, which will make him value for next year. Dangerfield, his up and down of him treating me continues. He's repaying his fate from his 3 games that he missed at the start of the season, another game, and a couple of 60s that he's thrown up, but 169 is nothing to be swayed about. Just absolutely dominated the Saints. And when scaling was hot, he was hot. So score was very nicely put into my scoring bank. Didn't make much sense. It's 10 o'clock at night. But Jordan De Goey was pretty good as well. 119. Again, another good pick. And another underpriced guy for next year. He and Stringer look the goods for next year. Be interesting if they can. We just hope. I believe they'll hopefully hold their midfield roles for the coming seasons. Zeeble, he's got one more week in my team, and I feel like he's not going to end up in anyone's team ever again. I don't think. He's done an amazing job. 107, starting price of 200. He can. Scoring 60 doesn't have any effect on anyone's. It just lowers the mean. Everyone has him. If you traded him, good on you. That luxury would have been very handy. I wish I could get rid of some of my premiums that were stuck on my bench for the rest of the year. But Matty Kennedy's been actually a solid pick as well. At the back end of the season, 130. He disappointed the first week I got him, but I think he's 100 plus in the last 5 that I've had him. So pretty pleased with that pick in the end. Bolton got to 80, like Taranto. I just hope he gets 75 and just move on. It's first week. I don't. Oh yeah, I know Zeeble ruined it with the 60. Only one player under 80, which is a nice sight to see. Unfortunately, it took this long, but oh well, momentum for next year. Can we say that? So till next Sunday, which will be my last review, grinding out to the end. I always say if you start something, I always want to finish it. And hopefully, I've given you some decent content over the last few months, and I'll maybe be running a finals comp possibly if I get enough interest. I'll be posting some more information about that possibly in the bye week before the finals. So till next Sunday or Monday, who knows what the fixtures will be like. Have a good one.